testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly.
Thank you.
For the day I die, I'm a
I'm
tough
gonna take
guy.
all that love and support. I'm gonna take it in. I'm gonna feel it. I'm gonna send it right back to you. So thank you so much. Oh, hey Tony, how you doing? You know, Tony, I'm worried about kids today. Well, Tony, you know they have cut recess. They've cut recess down. You know that time where kids play and have fun. They have cut it down from like 3 hours, which I'm sure it was when I was a kid, to like 10 minutes now. 10 minutes of recess. They say they want to prepare kids for adult life because there's no recess in adult life. And I say that's fine. You know, you want your kids to be prepared. And I say we should just add recess to adult life. That's what I think. So we should all just have recess right now here on The Ellen Show. Yeah, it's great. Okay, but seriously though, there's this huge movement to suck all the fun out of school. No more protected childhood, you know, recess, playgrounds, extracurricular activities, sports, the arts. Just none of that. They're moving away from that to a prepared childhood where you studied boring things like math and test preparation. And I tell you what, I never studied math or test preparation, and I went all the way to not going to college. Of course, Portia has to do our taxes because now I just get distracted and go do a painting or ride bikes or something. Anyway, we've got a great show here for you today. Our guest today is John Dewey. Yep, John Dewey, that's right. He's a great educational philosopher from the turn of the century. Not this one that just happened, but the last one. It's 2000 minus a century is, that's 100. So, yes, thank you, 1900. And then after that, we're going to send Katie out to the streets to see what people really think about education and why it's important to them or not. And then we're going to have a very special game of No or Go. You're going to have to stay tuned to figure out why it is so special. But right now, Tony, do you know what I want to do? I want to dance.
I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door. I'll get it myself. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door. I'll get it myself. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door. I'll get it myself. Do you hear me? I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door. I'll get it myself. Don't give me integration, give me true community.
Alright folks, like I said, welcome back. Like I said, today's guest is John Dewey, that great American philosopher, psychologist and educational reformer here from the late 1800s, to talk about political and civic goals of schooling. And okay, is he just getting out of a... We should send him to makeup or something. Does somebody want to catch him before he goes? Okay. Hello. All right. Hello. Hi there.
Hey, Ellen.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Hi, Mr. Dewey. Hey there.
Just took a long nap.
Yeah, you seemed pretty comfortable.
Yeah, but no, I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us today.
Gotta shake your hand
Very
again.
excited.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So John, what exactly, because you're an educational reformer, you were big into
That I am.
civic education. I have no idea what that means, civic education.
I will explain everything for you, Ellen.
Okay, I would like that.
So when we talk about the civic goals of education, what we're just referring to is those goals pertaining to public obligations. So your rights and your responsibilities as a citizen of this great nation. And actually, very early in our history, one of the most important civic goals of education was to develop and basically culture new politicians, because we were a very new nation. We had just won our independence, and it was vitally important to have a government that knew how to function, and political fluency was incredibly vital to that process. After that, and this is an idea from Thomas Jefferson, we needed to educate the general populace too. We didn't just want to educate the politicians. So it was actually Jefferson's idea that the public should be taught primarily how to read. And that was another civic goal of education at the early parts in our history.
So far we've got a couple civic goals. Reading and having new politicians.
Well, here's two more.
Okay, yeah.
Another one is actually fostering the idea to vote. Getting your public out there and voting. It's a very fundamental part of participating in a representative democracy, and that's also a primary civic goal of education.
So we don't want mob rule. We don't want people with pitchforks just
that
like
would
going
not
to
be a
change
good
things.
thing.
No, we want to
No.
vote.
We do want to vote.
Well then,
Peaceful voting.
November will be very different for me. And I guess I'll change my plans.
Yes,
Okay,
I agree.
I will do that. All right. So, but you said you had another civic goal for me.
Building patriotism.
Patriotism.
We need to be very proud of our country.
Yes, red, white, and blue, right here today.
Also, assimilating immigrants, Ellen.
Assimilating immigrants.
We are a nation of immigrants.
Yes, I have heard that.
We need to we don't need to cut out their culture entirely, but we do need to form some kind of civic unity for the people coming into our country.
Why we make our kids stand up every day and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, I don't know what those words mean. Do you know
Ellen,
what those words mean?
that's a great example of a civic goal of education, the
Okay.
Pledge of Allegiance. It was actually, let me give you a brief history lesson. It was written in 1892 by Francis Bellamy, and it was quickly adopted by many educators who really, really wanted to try to assimilate immigrants. And
Okay.
this was one way to do it, Ellen. It was one way to do it. And what also happened is this trend, it spread not just to standing up and reciting a pledge in front of a flag, but it spilled over into songs and stories that were incorporated into education. And get this, even high school sports teams developed, cheerleading squads developed, in part to increase the unity of the school.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Here's their train of thought, that if school unity was strong enough while students were at school, that after they graduated, that unity would spill over into national unity.
I've got a fun surprise for you today. One of your biggest fans is here in the audience, and I'm going to bring her down to meet you. Olivia, come here, meet John Dewey. Hey there, how are you doing today?
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, that's great. I love to hear it.
I got my notes.
Oh, great. Go ahead. Yeah.
Can I talk?
Please, yes.
So, a lot of people might not be aware that references to God were added to the pledge and to our money, our national currency,
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
during the Cold War.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Why then? Why during the Cold War?
So, the Soviet Union, this terrible atheistic communist area.
Yeah, not today. No. We
Yeah.
are fine with atheists and communists and people of every political persuasion. Thank you. Thank you. Ellen DeGeneres does not endorse or exclude anyone. Yes. Okay.
So, to combat that, put in God to all these
Ah.
national things
Mm-hmm.
and promote civic development.
Oh, right. God helps civic development.
Yep.
And football. Saints. The Saints are going to win this year. So, but that was, 60 years ago or so. The Cold War is 50, 70. That was like 60 years ago or so. Is there anything more recently? Because I think I read this article about a goal of education is to help with community service and service learning. I mean, am I crazy or am I crazy?
Service learning, you're definitely right. Service
Yes.
learning is based on the belief that voluntary engagement in civic organizations and community work is necessary for the maintenance of a just society. So, for example, the National Service Learning Clearinghouse organization has characteristics and examples of different types of service learning. So, these examples include cooperative experiences to build teamwork, working on complex community-oriented projects, and engaging in real-world critical thinking exercises, all with the goal of building patriotic communities through educationally fostered community service learning.
Wow, that is really very interesting. But for our viewers at home and for our audience members, John Dewey, if there is, what is a good take-home message? If you had one sentence about education, what would it be?
Ellen, I have two sentences.
Yeah, I was never good at math. If you had two sentences, what would they be?
I would have to say that education has powerful political motivations which largely focus on service learning and building a national identity. Ultimately, these contribute to increased patriotism and political literacy that's necessary for active participation. That's voting, Ellen.
Voting.
Go out and vote.
I'm gonna vote. Everybody should vote.
Active participation in the type of representative democracy that we have here in the U.S.
Well, that's great. That is great. Thank you so much for being here today. It was really great to meet both of you. I hope you, thank you so much. I hope to see you again soon. And folks, we will be right back after this break. And now we need to talk to each other. So, let's sign up. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Ellen Show. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Katie on the streets. She's out there getting people's opinions and thoughts and how they feel about why education is important. Katie! Katie, how are you doing out there?
Hey Ellen, I'm doing great out here.
It's great. That's good to hear. The weather looks very nice.
The weather is awesome. I'm here at George Mason University interviewing students, asking them what they think the purpose of schooling is.
All right, great. Let's look at some of the responses we get.
What do you think the purpose of schooling is?
I'd have to say to learn and find your place in the world.
Okay. The purpose of schooling is?
To further your education and be a better part of your community.
To get a job for the future.
I think education is really good for the social aspect of people, making new friends, learning how to interact, in social settings.
I think that the importance of school is actually to help benefit the self. I think it's more of an emotional thing as well because it's a matter of feeling pride within yourself, knowing that you've achieved something. I know for me and my family, it's a great thing since I'm the first person of my generation to even accomplish such a thing. And I'm sure it's the same thing with other families and other people. So when you do complete your education, it's a sense of pride and it's a sense of accomplishment.
To educate yourself as well as prepare yourself for a future of work.
The purpose of going to school is to enlighten yourself, to become existing on a higher plane of being.
Yeah, oh my god, three.
I believe the purpose of education is to be able to get different points of views from all sorts of different subjects, to be able to form your own opinion. That's part of a liberal education. If you only get one side of a fact, then you're going to automatically go to that side of things. If you get multiple point of views, okay, you can have your own opinion. And that's what being educated is all about. It's not having people telling you what you think, is you decide for yourself what you think.
I think the purpose of higher education, at least, is to get a job. You learn the things that you need to learn so that you can go be useful in the workforce, but you don't actually learn any skills that are marketable for yourself. Unless you're in biology or nursing school, pre-med, pre-law. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed today's segment of Katie on the Streets at George Mason. Now back to you, Ellen.
All right, that's really great stuff, Katie. Great work. And we'll be right back after this quick break.
Yeah, I'll make it today wonderful. Grateful for things old and plus the new. For what I have and what I gotta get. And for my frame of mind, I ain't trying to sit. You say what time is it? Time to find that strength that's inside the lift. The bar so high that I can throw it up. No matter.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to the Ellen Show. It is now time for Know or Go, that really great game where you either know the answer or you go. And the reason it's so special today is because today our guest host is none other than John Dewey, and I will be in the hot seat myself. So, let's go ahead and get another contestant down here for me. Rania! Are you here today? Yeah, of course. So let's just pop up on the Know or Go machine here. All right, Mr. Dewey, take it away.
All right, so today's Know or Go is cognitive development and vocational development in public schools.
Oh.
All right, so first, Alan, get out of the way.
What?
First question here is for Rania. All right, Rania, ready? Cognitive development is how people learn to make sense of their world. Give me 3 examples of cognitive development.
Well, there's definitely problem solving, in addition to mental planning, and finally evaluation.
Perfect! Students need to learn all 3 of those things to do, along with self-monitoring, in order to interact with the world. Very good.
Thank you.
All right, Ellen, ready? Jean Piaget and Lev Vygotsky.
Okay, Vygotsky.
Yes.
Vygotsky.
Were 2 major players in cognitive development theory.
All right, 2.
Their work has led classrooms to have more hands-on experience and to use the teacher more as a facilitator.
Okay, facilitating teacher.
Also,
got it.
imaginative play too, Ellen.
Imaginative play. I'm good at imaginative
yes.
play.
Ready? Spell Piaget. Oh, sorry.
Piaget. P-I-A-G-E-T. Crushed it.
Excellent. You guys are tied. That was a tough one, Ellen.
Yeah, it really was. It is a good thing I read the script today.
I agree. All right, now, Rania, let's get vocational.
Oh, dear.
Much of education today is focused on students continuing on to college. But there are other types of education out there. Give me an example of vocational education and why it's important.
I'd have to say trade school.
Oh.
Trade school is a perfect example because it trains students to go into the workforce, and it could be anything from masonry to auto mechanic school.
That's right. And by the way, we also would have accepted medical school, since students are directly trained to be a doctor. All right, Ellen.
Okay.
It's going to get even tougher.
Okay.
Gotta pay attention.
I'm paying attention.
Stop dancing.
Okay.
All right, I'm just kidding. You can dance.
Okay.
All right. The Common Core Standards Initiative defines educational standards to prepare students, our students, for college and careers.
Okay.
All right. These standards define the knowledge and skills students need by the time they graduate high school. I got too excited there. So they can successfully enter college or training programs.
All right.
What's your favorite color?
Blue! Blue! My favorite color is blue, just like Dory the fish in Finding Nemo and the upcoming sequel, Finding Dory.
I can't wait to see that, Ellen.
It's going to be very good. I hear it stars Dory.
Rania, your turn!
Okay.
All right, these Common Core standards are really affecting the way subjects get taught.
Yes.
Give an example of how an English class might have changed since these standards favor vocational education so much.
Well, it would probably involve having the students read nonfiction instead of fiction, and they would have to write more analysis of the text instead of really connecting to the novel.
Well done, Rania. Great job. Okay, Ellen.
Thank you.
How do you feel about that?
Gee, you know, that's a tough question. That really gets back to my monologue about protected versus prepared childhood. And do you teach a kid to correctly find all the facts in something, or to really connect emotionally with a piece? Do you teach them to read for pleasure, or to just analyze market research analysis? You know what? I don't know.
Congratulations, Rania.
That was a trick!
You win today's Know or Go! Woo! And your prize is a brand new car! We'll be right back after this review!
Alright, so, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, thanks for being here. And as always, have a fun day, and don't forget to dance. For more information, please visit the posted links. The cheat! Are you having a light switch rave? Nobody's gonna understand that reference. Alright folks, welcome back. So it's John Dewey, huh? What a guy. So anyway, we're gonna go to the streets with Katie now to see how people are doing and what they think about education and why it's important. Oh, thank you. You know, I'm gonna take all that love and support. I'm gonna take it in, I'm gonna feel it, and I'm gonna send it right back to you. I'm not wearing shoes.